Good morning, students. I feel happy to meet you all after a long gap. I pray God to keep all the students and the family safe. Before I proceed to a new chapter, I would like to introduce you to Mrs. Geeta, the English teacher of KV Island Grounds. I met ma'am in the in-service course. Madam is a wonderful resource person. I learned lot from Madam. Today, the reported speech session is taken by ma'am. I thank ma'am for sharing her resource with us. Listen to her carefully and enrich your knowledge on the reported speech.
Good morning, children. Welcome to class 8. Here is a slide for you as a small warm up activity. Your famous cartoon characters are here. Let's see what they've got to say. Tom is washing his hands. Mickey and Jerry are in a shut conversation. Jerry, why is Tom washing his hands now? Mickey, he is protecting himself from corona. Now let's see where we find dialogues. We find dialogues in day to day conversations between people. In the market, you could hear the conversation at home, at school, in the park, and many other places too. We also find conversation or dialogues in the plays and dramas in the theater. We also find beautiful dialogues in interesting comics and exciting dialogues in the cartoons that you watch. Now let's see an example. Tom said, I'm washing my hands. There are two ways of relating what somebody has said. Quoting exact words used by the speaker is called as direct speech, and reporting without quoting the actual words of the speaker is known as reported or indirect speech. The only difference is, which is very visible to us, in direct speech you will find inverted commas and you will find them absent in the reported speech or indirect speech. Today, the topic of our focus is on reported speech. It is also known as indirect speech. We are going to watch a few slides on the following. What is direct speech and reported speech? Rules to change direct speech into indirect speech. Examples and exercise. Let's see what direct speech means. Direct speech repeats or quotes the exact words spoken. When we use direct speech in writing, we place the words spoken between quotation marks, and there is no change in these words. We may be reporting something that's being said now, for example, a telephone conversation, or telling someone later about a previous conversation. Example, Harry said, I am learning reported speech now. Indirect speech. Reported or indirect speech is usually used to talk about the past, so we normally change the tense of the words spoken. We use reporting verbs like say, tell, ask, and we may use the word that to introduce the reported words. Here, note inverted commas are not used. Example, Hari said that he was learning reported speech then. Now let's see the rules to change direct speech into reported speech. First and foremost, change the pronoun such as I, she, we, they, etc. Change the time reference such as now, yesterday, today, etc. Next, change the tense. This is very important. We'll deal with this in the later slide. Next, we have changed the demonstrative adjectives such as this, these, etc. Now, let's go into the details. First, change the pronoun from direct to indirect. I changes into he or she. Me into him or her. We to they. Our to their. Next, change the time reference. Now becomes then. Ago, before. Today, to that day. Yesterday, to the previous day. Last week, month, or year. It becomes previous week, previous month, or previous year. Tomorrow, the following day. Next week, next month, next year becomes the following week, the following month, the following year. Next, change the tense. From direct to reported speech, the tense also undergoes a change. Let's see the first one. Simple present goes to simple past. For example, Tom said, I write. In simple past, Tom said, he wrote. Next, present continuous. Am or is writing becomes was writing. Are writing becomes were writing. Example, Tom said, I am writing. In the reported, Tom said that he was writing. Next, present perfect changes to past perfect. Example, has or have written becomes had written. Tom said, I have written a letter. Tom said that he had written a letter. Next, simple past changes to past perfect. Tom said, I wrote a letter. Tom said that he had written a letter. Now watch for auxiliary verbs too. May becomes might, can becomes could, shall, should, will to would, etc. Example, Tom said, can I sing? Tom asked if he could sing. Next, change the demonstrative adjective. This becomes that, these to those. Tom said, this is my book. Tom said that it was his book. Now let's look at the different kinds of sentences that we will come across. Now, first we have the WH question. In the direct, you will find words beginning with a WH, such as what, where, when, why, etc. Now, in the reported speech, the same WH can be used, but with a slight change in the reporting verb. Now, let's see this example. Rana said, "Where is my pen?" In the reported, Rana asked where his pen was. Next, yes or no type question. You will have auxiliary verbs such as are, am, is, was, were, can, has, etc. In the reported, you are supposed to use if or whether before this auxiliary verb. Rana said to his friend, "Are you ready?" In the reported form, Rana asked his friend if he was ready. Next type, we have the command sentences. You will identify the verb said. In the reported, this changes to advised, ordered, commanded, etc. Rana said, "Sit down." Rana asked me to sit down. Now let's see the imperatives. You have an example here. Rana said to him, "Please help me." In the reported, you have Rana requested his friend to help him. Next, exclamation. You must be very familiar with these words because we use it quite often to express our emotions. Ah, ooh, ouch, alas, wow. Let's see an example. Rana said, "Wow, it is a holiday." Rana exclaimed, "It was a holiday." Now, you can see some more examples so that you have a better idea of doing the reported speech. The first one, he said, "I'm unwell." In the reported form, he said that he was unwell. Next, "I'm happy," she said. She said that she was happy. He said, "Ira arrived on Monday." He said that Ira had arrived on Monday. Next, he said, "I can swim." He said that he could swim. He said to me, "What are you doing?" He asked me what I was doing. Rafiq said to Ahmed, "Go away." Rafiq ordered Ahmed to go away. He said, "Alas, I am undone." He exclaimed sadly that he was broke. Yes, while doing these sentences from changing the direct into indirect, remember to use certain colors for underlining the pronouns, the tense, the time reference, and the demonstrative adjective so that you can check out whether you have done it rightly or not. Yeah, here is a homework for you all. I'll just read it out so that you can watch out how it can be done. I have taken one verb which needs to be changed in the reported form. Mohan said, "I write neatly." Mani said, "I am writing a letter now." Mohit said, "I have written a letter yesterday." Monisha said, "My sister wrote a letter this morning." Mahima said to her sister, When are you going for a walk? Mangala said to her teacher, can we help the needy people? Yes, children, we have come to the end of the class. Now, before you start doing these exercises, brush up once again the rules before changing direct into reported speech. You could also do some more sentences on your own so that you will gain accuracy and confidence. Okay, children, I take leave of you. We'll meet in the next class. Thank you.